Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to learn about the resultant of coplanar forces and coplanar concurrent forces by analytical method. In earlier session we had learned about the computation of the resultant of a system of coplanar parallel forces and properties of couple, conditions of equilibrium of a rigid body subjected to number of coplanar forces. Computation of resultant of a system of coplanar forces, we are learned that coplanar forces are parallel to each other, like parallel to each other. And if they are parallel to each other and their sense is in the same direction, then we said it is a coplanar like parallel forces. If their sense is in opposite direction to each other, then we said it is a coplanar unlike parallel force system when their direction is opposite in nature but they are parallel to each other, then it is known as coplanar unlike parallel forces. Right? ఇదే కదా మనం coplanar parallel force system గురించి తెలుసుకున్నాం. Right? So these all are in one plane. If all are in one plane, then we can say it as coplanar forces. Right? This system is coplanar unlike parallel forces. Right? So this is used for the to get the reaction calculations of a beam or column like our structural elements, slabs like this. This is more useful for the for civil engineering point of view. In addition with the in addition with our conditions of equilibrium, we are already solved using these equations like sigma f of x equal to 0, sigma f of y equal to 0, sigma m equal to 0. And we are also deal with the properties of the couple where have seen that we have seen that the couple is clockwise momentum and anti-clockwise momentum like this having, and this arrangement of the couple will be a force which is apported at a distance with opposite nature like this. So they are separated at a distance of d, they are separated at a distance of the d, and the force is in the same magnitude. Force should be the same, its magnitude will be the same. Hence this system is known as a couple. This arrangement is known as couple, and its properties we are seeing that there will be no translation motion, only rotation will be accepted like this, clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moment, only one thing is possible. And the couple is balanced with the another couple of opposite in direction but with the same magnitude, like that we are seeing the properties of the couple. And we are also seeing the problem of a net which are pulling by the five people at different directions and wanted to find the magnitude and resultant. We are interested to find the magnitude and direction of the final position, that is of the net, that is known as resultant. So this is the diagram we have represented those all persons they are pulling or pushing of the net, and we drawn that figure and we are interested to find the resultant. I had given this is for your assignment, however In this session we are going to solve the same thing. So by using the resultant and magnitude of direction formulae, we are going to solve this one using the equilibrium equation sigma f of x and sigma f of y. See, by the principle of resolution sigma f of x and sigma f of y, we are going to summation of this thing. Now this is the diagram. So each force has to be taken in terms of the f of x, p, which is in the positive x-axis. You see, east is the positive x-axis, hence we are taking it as a positive, and q is purely in the positive y direction, hence its contribution towards the x direction is 0. Q is 0 in the x direction, and you see the T, which is an inclined force. So by resolution we get the two components in the x and y direction, but due to the direction of the T towards the third quadrant in the pulling side, you will get the in the negative direction of the x-axis. So you see, this would be the direction approaching towards the x-axis. Hence it is showing the T is showing the negative direction of the x-axis. Hence I taken it as a negative symbol for the T, and the angle is not adjacent to the x-axis. The angle is adjacent to the y-axis. Hence I taken for the sign for the T, because the x-axis is the angle given is not adjacent to the x-axis, hence I should take the sign. The force S is purely negative x-axis, hence I taken it as a minus S, and the force R is inclined, and hence it again to be get the resolutions. The resolution component in the x-axis and y-axis should be derived. So for our sigma f of x, we should concentrate about the x direction. Therefore, r, either it may be cos 30 or sin 30, that to be decided by the which adjacent angle has been given. So for the r, the adjacent angle given towards the y-axis, not with respect to the x-axis. Hence, it is sin 30 to get the x direction. To get the x direction, you need to apply the sign. Therefore, r sin 30, r sin 30. So by understanding the angle, whether it is cos or sine, and the direction, you see the r direction, how it comes in the direction of the negative or positive x-axis. Just simply draw the its shapes, draw the its shapes, you will get the direction towards the x. So it is coming as positive x direction, hence it has taken positive r. Therefore r sin 30 is a positive quantity. Then substitute the values. P is 300 Newton, T is 600 Newton, S is 1000 Newton, R is 750 Newton as given the magnitudes in the diagram. Then sigma f of x is came out as minus 784.62. That means the resultant of the sigma f of x direction is negative. It is negative. So the resultant for the sigma f of x direction is negative. So remember, this is the negative sign. So it gives the negative direction. And to obtain the resultant in the y direction, again we have to sum a algebraic sum of the all the forces in the y direction. Then sigma Fy is equal to, then look for all the forces. P is purely horizontal, Q is in purely horizontal, hence V doesn't have any coordinate component in the y direction. Hence P is 0 for the sigma Fy direction, and for the Q it is purely vertical direction, hence it should be taken Q, and positive because it is pure positive y direction, upward direction. And for the T it is again an inclined force, hence we have to take the coordinate. Here the angle is adjacent to the y-axis, hence cos is enough for this, hence t cos 50, and it shows the positive direction, hence we should take it as a positive. So here the symbol is positive, hence here is positive. So it is not the negative, right? So here I had already given it's a positive symbol in the calculation, hence there is no change in the value, hence this value will be right. Therefore t cos 50, right? So this is to be taken care whether it is a positive symbol or negative symbol. You can obtain like this, right? So hence it is wrong, hence it should be taken as upper side towards the positive y-axis, upward direction, hence this is like this, like this, like this, right? So this should be the positive. This is positive, right? Then 500 plus 600 cos 50. Again I am looking for the is any another force is there, like S is purely negative x-axis, hence its contribution towards the sigma y is nullified, and the remaining force R is inclined and it is acting downward. If you are seeing that it is acting downward, therefore it is a negative, right? This is also approach like this, right? You can see this is the 30-degree, hence I am again trying to get the 30-degree how it will be looks like, whether it is downward or upward. So for this I am just drawing the arrows, right? Like this, like this, it is approaching downward, hence it should be negative, hence this one is negative, all right? Therefore R cos 30, and it is adjacent the angle given towards the y-axis only, hence you should take the cos, therefore cos 30. So the total after getting the calculation you got 236.15 as algebraic sum of the sigma Fy, right? So here it is positive, positive, right? Okay, so total by substitution, if you want to get the magnitude of the resultant and direction, therefore R is equal square root of sigma f of x square plus sigma f of y square, and therefore R is equal to, substitute the sigma f of x and sigma f of y value, you get the resultant is 819.38 Newton, and similarly theta tan inverse sigma f of y by sigma f of x. And the direction will be like this. Substitute the sigma f of y and sigma f of x original coordinate system sigma f of x is negative and sigma f of y is positive. Hence, it gives the third quadrant. It shows that due to this signs positive and negative of the sigma f of x and like this, hence it is a third quadrant. So resultant should be lie in third quadrant, right? So you draw the resultant coordinate axes like this, and to get the direction, use the theta formula. Theta is equal to tan inverse sigma f of y by sigma f of x. Therefore, tan inverse those values of sigma f of y and sigma f of x values substitute irrespective of positive and negative in the formula, you will get the angle with respect to x-axis, that is 16 degree 45 minutes. The same has been shown in the diagram. So you have to draw after obtain the values to understood better. Right? Coming to the next topic, that is properties of couple. We are elaborately discussed about the 6 properties of the couple, among which in this session I want to concentrate on one of the important property of couple, that is the moment of a couple about any point in the given plane is constant both in magnitude and direction. Hence it produces the rotation. So we will see that explanation with the help of this sketch. So in a plane there are two forces are separated at a distance d, like unlike parallel forces. So that means it is forming a couple. So it forming a this force and this force creates at a distance of perpendicular distance d. Hence it provides a couple of clockwise moment couple. Right. So as one of the property in a plane, if I consider this is the plane, if this is entirely a plane, it is acting like this in a plane. Hence this couple property gives the same momentum of magnitude at any point. If I consider this point, the same magnitude should be there. If I consider this point, the same magnitude should be there. If I consider at this point, the same magnitude should come. Like that, the moment of the couple should not be changed. What is the moment of the couple? Yeah, force into perpendicular distance. Therefore m is equal to f into d. So at any point the same magnitude of the couple should be maintained. So for this you have to take the moments at the point. So now I am taking the moment towards the point A. So now I am taking the moment about this point A. So there are two forces F and F, right? It's at a distance of one force at a distance from A is x and another force at a distance of x plus d. So take the moments towards the point A. Therefore F into x, which is in anti-clockwise direction, hence it is a negative. F into x is anti-clockwise direction, right? And the second force, which is a distance of x plus d, x and d, x plus d, and it gives the direction of the clockwise towards the A. Hence it is clockwise direction is positive, we are assuming. Hence therefore F plus F plus F plus F into d plus x, right? The when we are elaborated, therefore we gives minus f of x plus fd plus fx. So these two terms will get cancelled, minus fx and plus fx both will be cancelled. The only one term you will obtain is plus fd. Therefore the final momentum at a point A is also fd, right? That is nothing but magnitude of the couple is fd. And if you want to take the right side of the couple position at a point D, then the same thing will happen. So for the force F here at a point C, the momentum will be like this. If you consider this from this point, the momentum will be anti-clockwise direction towards the D, hence I taken it as a y, the negative y, therefore minus Fy because it is anti-clockwise direction, F into y minus Fy. And similarly, if I take the momentum from the B towards the D, so it is F into D, which is clockwise direction. So hence it is a positive, right? Therefore, F into t plus y because it is acting at a point B. Therefore, the distance from B to D is small d plus small y. Expand the equation by applying the same algebraic summation. Minus Fy plus Fd plus Fy. Now this is minus Fy and this one is plus Fy. Both will be cancelled. Only Fd will be remain there. Therefore, Fd, hence again Fd. You see the both are at a point A and at a point D. You got the same answer Fd. Therefore, the moment of a couple, the magnitude is not going to be changed, even its direction is not changing. Hence, we are concluding that it will be the constant both in magnitude and direction. Both in magnitude and direction, the couple will not be changes its throughout the plane. Hence, it is a constant. Right. So, by understanding this property, just calculate the force. There are two forces involved in forming the moment of couple of magnitude 5000 Newton meter. There is a couple which having the magnitude of 5000 Newton meter. If the distance between these forces is 12 meters, that means their perpendicular distance is given 12 meters. Calculate the magnitude of each force. So we have to frame the first the question what is given. So I need to draw the couple. So this is the couple where the force is given 5000 Newton. What is the force? What is the force? This is the force they want to find. So what he was asking is calculate the magnitude of each force. Both the forces are equal. This force and this force are equal in a couple. So we want to find this force. So what is given? F into L is given, that is 5000 Newton meter. Couple magnitude is given. The magnitude of couple is given, that is nothing but moment. Therefore, moment is given, that is F into L, right? The quantity is given. And distance, the perpendicular distance is given 12 meters. So this is 12 meters. So L is equal 12 meters. So substitute these values in the equation. Therefore, m is equal to fd or fl. Therefore, m is equal to 5000. F is not given. L is 12 meters. Substitute and you solve this one. You get F is equal to 416.67 newtons. These F are both are equal because it is a couple. Right? So this is the way to get the solutions of the problems of the couple in engineering mechanics. Coming to the next session of the topic of in today topic, that is equilibrium conditions. We understood that in a coplanar system of forces, like it might be concurrent or it might be coplanar parallel forces, the equilibrium conditions are applicable when the system is said to be in equilibrium. That is sigma f of x equal to 0, sigma f of y equal to 0, sigma m equal to 0. That means it is neither translation nor the rotation. So if a system is said to be static at a position in a coplanar concurrent or coplanar parallel forces system, these three conditions should be exist. For today, we are going to get the practice of the determination of the resultant of force of a coplanar concurrent forces by analytical method. That is the example we are also already solved in the just in today in the revision class is the same as the analytical method. So we are going to solve the say in the same methodology one more problem for this to get the better understood. And in addition to that, we are going to solve the one more problem regarding the coplanar parallel forces also, and a few basics, right? So today we are introducing the what we learned in the previous session in the according to the moments. The same has been again emphasizing to get more understanding. We are also sometimes asking the questions, state the theorem of moments. There are only two theorem of moments, that is where when the force is acts at the line of action, and we are also interested towards the point which lies on the same line of action of the force, then that moment will be zero due to that force. That means you see the theorem 1 what it's saying, that if a force F1 is acting at a point B and we want to take the effect of the moment due to the force F1 at the same point B, at the same point B, we are interested to find the moment at the point B, which is the line of action of the force F1 too. Hence, it is passing through the line of action, which is passing through the line of action. The force F1 is passing through the point B. Hence, there is no perpendicular distance at the point B due to the force F1. Perpendicular distance is 0. Perpendicular distance is 0. Hence, momentum due to the force F1 at point B is 0, because distance is 0, hence momentum is 0. This is happened due to the point under consideration is passing through the line of action. Line of action. So this is what the theorem 1 says. So this type of condition we are already used in our earlier problems also. And the second momentum is nothing but Varignon's theorem. Varignon's theorem, in which it expresses when number of forces act on a body, it's we are already finding the resultant of the same forces. Then the resultant into the perpendicular distance about any point is equivalent to the sum of other forces, all other forces making the same momentum at the point are equal. You see here there is a Q. You see just here there are forces like Q and P are the two forces. Now I find the resultant. I find the resultant R. This is the resultant. This is resultant. This is the resultant. So R is the resultant. Now I want to find the momentum about this point M. So for this I can simply say that I find it already resultant. I can multiply the perpendicular distance. I can multiply the perpendicular distance to the point where the momentum is required at M. So this is the perpendicular distance between these two points. This is the perpendicular distance between M and resultant R. It is not the perpendicular distance should be taken only in this direction. There should be 90-degree to with respect to the force and the point. Hence, this is the perpendicular distance. So, R into distance small d, I am taking as mn3 as a d. mn3, this is n3. Therefore, the distance from the m to n3 where the perpendicular distance exists, that point is n3. Therefore, m to n3 is that perpendicular distance is d. So, to get the moment, I should multiply with the force into perpendicular distance. Therefore, resultant r and perpendicular distance d. This is equal to the individual or algebraic sum of the moments of all forces about same point. You should say that same point. Where what is the same point? That is m. So I should take the algebraic sum of moments of all forces. What are the other forces? Q and P. So now I am taking the perpendicular distance of the Q and P. So what is the perpendicular point? That is N1. You see here it is a N1. The perpendicular point here it is for the P line, it is the N1. From this N1 to I should draw the perpendicular point towards the N. So this is the point is a perpendicular distance. So I have to multiply the force into perpendicular distance P and D1. So I should multiply with the P into D1, that is, and algebraic sum is given, hence I should again take the Q. This is the Q, this is the Q force, and its this perpendicular point is obtained here. So where the point, it is not that here, it is not here, it is not here. Where is the perpendicular distance exists? From M to N2. So that is the perpendicular distance direction. Hence, I should take the distance from the N2. N2 distance is D2. Here it is given, that is the D2. So I should multiply the force Q with respect to perpendicular distance D2. Right? So that algebraic sum will give the single resultant momentum. So either you can say R into D or PD1 plus QD2. This is the principle of Verigna's theorem says, right? So that is the theorem 2. So there is a small extension to the forces and couples, how they can be interchangeable, how you can represent the both, that we can see here again. The couple can be replaced by a coplanar parallel force system. You can see that means a couple can be replaced. Couple can be replaced. What is a couple? Couple is like this. A couple at a perpendicular distance. It has the D. Here it has D, and the force is F. Here it is also force F. So this is a couple. This can be replaced by a coplanar force system. So generally మనం parallel system ఎలా చేయొచ్చు, that by using this is the couple momentum magnitude. So this is equivalent to this one, a magnitude of the couple either in clockwise or anti-clockwise, that can be replaced by a coplanar parallel force system. So this is a parallel force. These two are parallel forces. Hence, this can be replaced by a coplanar parallel force system. Therefore, moment of a couple can be replaced by coplanar parallel force system. You see this. this one, right? So this is how a momentum can be replaced by a coplanar parallel force system. And the second one is the force can be replaced by a force and moment. దట్ మీన్స్ ఒక ఫోర్స్ని మనం రెండు యొక్క సమ్ముల కింద రాయొచ్చు. ఒక ఫోర్స్ని రెండిటి యొక్క సమ్మేషన్ కింద రాయొచ్చు. ఆ రెండు ఎటువంటిది, అది ఒక ఫోర్సు ప్లస్ కపుల్. అంటే ఒక ఫోర్స్ని ఒక ఫోర్సు మరియు కపుల్ కింద సమ్మేషన్ కింద రాయొచ్చు. సో సి జనరల్గా మనం ఫోర్స్ని మనం ఇలాగ అనుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. ఇఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫోర్స్, సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వలెంట్ టు ది a force plus and momentum and a couple. This is what he want to say. A force can be replaced by a force and couple. How is it is going to be replaced? You can see that this force can be added like this force can also be making its effect as nullified by introducing another force in opposite direction of the same quantity. Then it is 0, then it gives the 0, it gives the 0. So the same thing, it is represented in this form. This is the thing. A force is equivalent to the a force which has been making as a 0 force at a distance d, at a distance d. So this force and this force are both are same but in opposite direction. This is in this direction, this is in this direction with the same magnitude. Hence this summation of the system is 0. This summation is 0. So what is the net force? This is force F only, right? And this due to these two systems, like this is the positive direction and this one at a negative direction, and they are separated by a distance d. This gives a couple. What is that? Couple M is equal FD. So I am replacing these two forces. I am replacing this one and this one separated at a distance of d. So this forms a couple M is equal to FD. And what is the remaining one? Remaining one is this force. This force is remaining one. So I replaced the same thing drawn here as force F. So a force can be represented like a couple and force, right? This can be possible cases. Now I want to find the resultant of a coplanar forces and its position from point A for the arrangement of force system as shown in the figure. So this is the figure. This type of problem we are already solved in earlier session also, but at that time we are solved a parallel unlike system, coplanar parallel unlike system. Now in this session we are going to solve the parallel like system, right? What is the difference between the parallel like system and parallel unlike system? In the parallel unlike system we are taken supports as unlike forces and we solved the reactions from that. Now in the parallel system we want to know the resultant of the system. So find the resultant of the coplanar forces and its position from point A for the arrangement of force system as shown in the figure. Right? This is the system as given here. Here it is 50 Newton, 40 Newton, 80 Newton. All three forces are all three forces are parallel to each other. All are parallel to each other. Hence, it is a like parallel system. It is a like parallel system. Like parallel coplanar system. Hence, it is a like parallel coplanar system. Now, apply the rules what we learn for the coplanar system should be followed here. You know that resultant is equal sum of the algebraic sum of the forces. For the parallel system that is like parallel, there is no algebraic sum, all are just a summation only because all are in the one direction, hence all are the positives. Therefore, to get the R is equal to sigma f of y, that is equal to 50 Newton plus 40 Newton plus 80 Newton, right? And another thing, we should know the where the position of the resultant. So in the problem he is asking about the position of the resultant also from the point A. Therefore, you know that the position of the resultant is XR, that is equal to sigma f of y divided by resultant. So you should apply those formulas in the problem to get the solution using the principles of coplanar forces, that is equal to R is equal to sigma f, that is equal to f1 plus f2 plus f3, then direction of the resultant. Now you get the algebraic sum, and sign convention according to your convenience you can change your sign conventions also, and position of resultant can be obtained by xr is equal to sigma f of x by r, like that, and apply the values in the formula. Therefore, sigma f of x equal to 50 plus 40 plus 80, that is 170 Newton, and r is equal to sigma f of x equal to 170 Newton downward. Position of resultant from point A, sigma f of x by r. Therefore, you got the by solution it is 7.82 meters after calculation. Then show the same thing here. So I got the resultant R is equal to 170 Newton, right? And its a position where it has to be placed. The position is 7.82 meter from A. So from A, it is 7.82. So where it comes, whether it is here or here or here, how I should know? I am adding, this is the 4 meters which is lesser than 7.82, and again I see it is a 5 meter. Therefore, by summation what will come? 9 meters. So 9 meters is greater than 7.82. Hence my resultant will be in between these two forces. In between these two forces. So I placed R in between these two forces, and that is XR. Right? So that is how you have to judge where the position. Right? Even in this formula sigma f of x, I am getting the values from the A. You see, I taken the 15 newtons into 13. 13 will come by addition of this 4, this 4, and plus 5 plus 4 towards the A. So I am taking like this. So I have to add these three values, 4 plus 5 plus 4, 13 meters, right? And similarly for the 40, how I will get this 5 meter, because 40 is here, so this is coming from this point to this point. Therefore, I need to take the measurements from this point onwards towards the A. Therefore, 5 meter and 4 meter. So you got 5 plus 4, 9 meters. For the 80 Newton, 80 Newton, only one distance is available from towards the A, that is 4 meters. So I am taking for this 80 as a 4 meters. All are anti-clockwise directions. So hence I taken as all are positive. For the like forces, you get the same sense, right? So by dividing the same thing with the resultant, I got this 7.82 meters. So this is the system you should follow to represent the diagrammatically the resultant and its position. Now, just for practice, sake of the practice, take another example where other directional forces are also being introduced in the earlier problem. He is asking to find the resultant of coplanar concurrent force system as shown in the figure below. Here he is giving all the forces in all the coordinates. In all the coordinates we have the forces, right? But at some are push direction, some are pull direction. So this is the push direction and this one is pull direction, right? This also pull direction and this one is push direction. So we have to take the all the directions, and in this problem is another twist is the angle is varying at different points. Some angle given with respect to y-axis, some angles are given with respect to x-axis. You see this 45-degree with respect to x-axis, this 50-degree with respect to y-axis, right? This 20-degree with respect to x-axis, this 30-degree with respect to y-axis. So in this problem, you can't say that its end side is cos only or its end side is sine only, like that. You can't comment. You have to see that the angle is which side is given. So accordingly, in your equation, there is a combination of sine and cos will come. So you have to practice this type of problems for your more comfort and speed in calculations. So the final, we have deal with the resultant of coplanar concurrent forces by analytical method and computation of the resultant of a system of coplanar parallel forces and miscellaneous topics. So this is the way you have to determine the resultant of coplanar concurrent forces by analytical method and computation of the resultant of a system of coplanar parallel forces.